Well, I'm delighted to have been asked to speak at this conference and to lend my support for the formation of a branch of the SCL in Vietnam. I'd like to congratulate Ngam Nam Chung and the Interim Steering Committee for their work they have done and will continue to do in establishing SCL Vietnam. I'm also glad to share the platform with Johan Bash from South Africa, where I believe I attended the inaugural SCL conference there, and Anil Changaros. In fact, I attended and I think I gave the talk to SCL Singapore before SCL Singapore was formally made and a branch of the SCL through the government processes. And I think it's worth reflecting as to why a Vietnam branch of the Society of Construction Law is so important. I mean, one can see from many reports that Vietnam is one of the fastest growing economies in the world now. The construction sector accounts for a significant economic growth in Vietnam. I'm told that it's growing at about 8.5% annually for the past 10 years, with annual output in excess of 50 billion US dollars per year. And the expansion in terms of roads, railways, port projects and other projects has obviously contributed to this. Also, there have been a number of very successful government development plans which have supported that growth. So the basis is there for a lot of construction in Vietnam. I have to say I was in Vietnam a good many years ago when the economic prospect for Vietnam was not quite so rosy. But I'm glad to see that it is now proceeding well. The SCL, as many of you will know, started in the last century, but towards the end of the last century, in the UK, and it's now spread its influence around the world. In addition to, I think it's now 16 branches around the world, it fosters international exchanges through the international conferences it holds, and it's held those more recently in Chicago. And this coming year in November, there will be an international conference in Auckland, New Zealand. And what the SCL does is it provides opportunities for all those involved in construction and law to discuss, learn about, develop construction law. There are many organizations which are limited just to lawyers, but the SCL has a special cachet in having many construction professionals as part of its organization. And it's interesting that while national laws always have certain differences, there's a surprisingly common international approach to construction contracts and methods of dispute resolution. The conference, obviously, that everyone's attending there brings together a number of specialists in the field of construction law and dispute resolution from Vietnam and around the world. And just before I came online, I was able to see the audience and I noticed a number of colleagues who I've met, some as recently as earlier this week in Singapore. Obviously, I'm sorry that I can't be there in person, but at present, I'm sitting in a case in the Singapore International Commercial Court here in Singapore, but I'm pleased to say that it is just settled. And I can see from the program that you've discussed what I would describe as the usual topics that I think interest everyone in construction law, ranging from forms of contract, the FIDIC form you've heard about, and obviously NEC 4 I can see has been dealt with. And then there are the usual question of claims under construction contracts, which fascinate us all, together with questions of delay analysis, delay and disruption, damages, and so on. And one of the things I think about construction law, which is probably more fascinating than anything else, is the number of multiple ways in which construction disputes can be resolved. And I know dispute boards, international arbitration and mediation have been on the program. So in summary, what I'd like to do is to lend my support to the project to bring forward an SCL branch in Vietnam, and hand over to my colleagues within the worldwide brotherhood of the SCL to say a few words themselves. Thank you very much.